They have a dimensional portal, and it leads to a parallel world.
What?
It's not that big a deal.
Get the out, it's not.
I'm starting at the beginning. Previously on. Changes a lot.
The big surprises start pretty early, even in the previously section.
Very early, and this DCU canon moving forward, is it fair to say the alternate universe is what we're operating with?
You mean, is it that does this alternate world exist?
Like the canon, the Superman canon.
Yeah.
Right? Does that exist in the alternate universe?
No, it exists in our world.
Okay.
I mean, our world. It exists in Peacemaker's world. Like, we retcon. We already have done that. That's what the previously is about. Peacemaker is in the DCU. That's the world.
Superman was such a massive success, over $500 million worldwide, and it really set the stage for the DCU moving forward. I was a little heartbroken to see it's already going to be on digital so soon after, because I love a good long theatrical campaign.
Me too.
What was the mindset between going to digital that soon after?
Well, it's very complicated, but the truth is because of Peacemaker. So. I originally thought Peacemaker was going to be coming out next month. There was a lot of things that are like beyond our control, so that Peacemaker is coming out now. And at the end of the day, I wanted everyone to be able to see Superman that wanted to, even those people who couldn't get to a theater before Peacemaker. And that's really the reason for it.
Sasha Bordeaux is a fascinating character to me because I know all about her comic history.
Yeah.
Her history with Bruce Wayne, personal security, knowing Batman's identity.
Yeah.
Is that history you intended to play with going into the series?
I think we'll have to see where it goes. I mean, I think we'll have to see with what we're doing with Batman and figuring it out. So obviously we know some basics about where it's going with Batman, but we're also figuring some things out. So everything's fluid.
Mm-hmm. They haven't met though.
I didn't say that.
Okay. Fair enough. I am very excited to watch the final 3 episodes as a fan.
Oh yeah.
Because that's always the most fun.
Let me tell you something. So I'm the one who's keeping the 3 episodes away from everybody because there's just too many surprises in those last 3 episodes, especially 6 and 8, that are just crazy. But my favorite things I've ever done are episode 6 and episode 8 of anything. And I just can't wait for people to see them.
We get a little bit of a nod to there being some distrust with metahumans. I believe it is Chris Smith who says something about metahuman distrust. I'd love to know where Rick Flag stands with metahumans.
Yeah, I think there is a level of mistrust. I think, I think Flag understands what they are and why they are and where they are. But I do think there is a level of prejudice.
We're scared as human beings of things we don't understand.
Yeah. There's that, and I think there's an inherent danger that I believe surrounds these aliens. I really do. I think there's never going to be a time where my guard is down and let's sing Kumbaya.
I feel like that maybe this is me projecting or something, but I feel like your character in sort of the conversation you guys are having around metahumans is almost like, do we allow these people to have weapons of mass destruction? Because that's kind of, they're so dangerous.
Right. And unpredictable and So that's kind of always an underlying factor, and it always resonates in each episode. I think we're dealing with that kind of, how do I feel about these people?
Really quickly, did you know at the time of the Suicide Squad that this relationship would be a thing?
No, absolutely not.
Gotcha.
When I shot the Suicide Squad, the character was called Comms Tech 1 or Comms Tech 2 or something like that. It wasn't until sometime during filming, James, it was definitely before we finished filming, but sometime during filming, he decided he was going to give the character a name just as a Easter egg for people to see when the credits rolled. That's it. He had no plans for Harcourt in the future. He didn't even have really plans in the DC EU or whatever it was called at the time. He just, he thought it was fun for fans to see, oh, that's Amelia Harcourt from the comics. Yeah. So it was a surprise to me to get to play her again.
Yeah.
When we did season 1.
Chris in season 1 says Adebayo's his best friend.
Hey.
And Vigilante kind of has, you guys fans of How I Met Your Mother?
No, sorry.
Then I won't make this comparison. But anyways, Vigilante is very adamant that no, he's Peacemaker's best friend. Are we gonna settle that score in season 2?
Ooh, no.
No. We wish we could.
No.
Yeah, I like that tension. So
Me too.
Keep it going. And also, I mean, I like that, like, we've also got...
I just thought about, like, we have that tension as characters, but we also did that in real life. Like, we would have these bake-offs.
Yeah.
I just thought about, like,
Who can cook the best for John Cena?
Yeah, no, for James.
Well, for James more.
okay.
And well, for the cast, we
Yeah,
bring in,
that's
like, all
really
this
quick.
food,
Yeah,
but then James started
This is
giving
our
us
way of keeping
competition.
our jobs. We just keep giving James Gunn all
Yeah.
these baked goods.
We're bribing away.
Keep bribing him with it.
Please write an episode.
I know, right? No.
Hey, if I had the say and someone brought me like freshly baked muffins, I'd be like, "You're sticking around." So
Right.
I understand.
Good job.
Freddie, Vigilante won over all of our hearts in season 1. Everyone was anticipating this character going in because he's so popular on the page and was popular in the Arrowverse. But I think you took him to a whole new level. I'd love to know your reaction to just the fan sentiment around the character and what fans can expect from Vigilante in season 2.
Yeah, it was fun to see the reaction to him. I think that was going to happen whoever played him. I think that on the page he was just kind of incredible. I loved him as soon as I was reading him. It's very different to the other Adrian chases that have existed. Well, I don't know if the first Cowboy was actually Adrian, but Vigilantes. And yeah, you get to see a bit more of him. And yeah, he's kind of you're in for a little bit more Vigilante stuff, maybe episodes 6, 7, 8.
In these first 5 episodes, we do get to explore an alternate dimension where we get to see alternate versions. What I've seen so far, Chris Smith, Harcourt, and all of them seem to be very different personality-wise from who we've seen in our typical Peacemaker timeline. Have you thought at all about Adebayo, how she would look in that universe, and if there's anything of her character that you think would shift over? Would she have a better relationship with her mother in that world?
Oh, she would be besties with her mom. Maybe. Like, I keep teasing that I would love to see a villainous side of Adebayo. Not necessarily that's in conjunction with her mother, and like, but more so like still in opposition to her mom. I think would be a lot of fun to play. And maybe give her a British accent, you know? I mean, just for the hell of it. I think
That
would be fun. I would be calling on you to say all my lines, so I'd make sure I'm doing
I'll
it right.
ADR that. I'll go.
Yeah, Freddie, you're very convincing. I had no idea you
Right?
were British. I walked in
thank
here
you.
and I was like, oh, whoa.
Oh, okay.
And he stays in an American accent throughout
Yeah.
the entire time, which is really impressive.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
first time he spoke to me outside of American accent, I literally about lost it. I was
Even
like,
this season, you
fucking kidding me?
even this season when we started dance rehearsals, you were like, "You're a liar."
I didn't know you're a liar. It's because he really stays the entire season in American
Yeah.
accent. It's pretty impressive.
Can we talk about the dance rehearsals? Because we have a new theme song this time around, and again, it's the same style of dance and the stoic face and just doing all these like very like kind of almost robotic movements. What did that? I don't want to say day on set. What did those days on set look like?
I have to say the first season when we did it, I didn't realize he wanted a stoic face. So I kept doing everything like, and he kept being like, yo, chill your face out. I didn't realize he wanted it stoic. So it took a lot of time because in my body, like when you're learning choreography, like it gets stuck a certain way in your brain. So it was really hard. Anyway, that was a side note.
Yeah, our rehearsals were like separate. We had like individual rehearsals, and then we kind of did a little bit, like we did one before.
Yeah.
But then we kind of like just it was 2 days of shooting and
Yeah.
Who decided the pig pile order?
Well, we actually had like a rehearsed one, and then it kind of was taking too long. It wasn't quite working, so then we did it on the fly. We just like everyone just started going in, and everyone
James
just kind
had
of
to
just
step
threw it
in.
in, and
That got a little chaotic. That was probably the hardest part of the
Yeah.
whole dance was just piling up.
because we need a pylon, but we can't. Like, there's some people who are 6'7" and
Or 70.
and then you got tiny guys, big guys. You got
Yeah.
old, young. So it's like we got to make sure we don't have the wrong order of
Yeah.
people jumping on each other here.
Yeah.
But we figured it out in the end.
Very important. I'll wrap with this, guys. Peacemaker is very reactionary to Superman that just came out last month. We're now like in the core of the DC universe moving forward. I obviously know you can't talk about the future of your characters, like where they will pop up, but do you know that information as of now? Do you know where we will see Adebayo or Vigilante going forward?
I wish.
Nothing.
I
So
wish.
season finale, that's it.
Season finale, and we're just waiting for James to tell us if there's any kind of future for us.
I need a
So,
cup
yeah.
for my tears. Because I really don't know.
We know she's got vigilante nails. That's what I think.
Vigilante?
Right?
Really? Oh,
Don't they
look
look
at
like
that.
vigilante
Because
nails?
we're actually
are.
the best friends. It's not Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Was that like
Intentional? Yeah.
Was
It
it?
was intentional.
Steve, there's a line that Economist says pretty early in the season where he says, that day was complicated. And he's referring to Corto Maltese.
Yeah.
And we know some of the canon of the Suicide Squad has been picked and chosen for this series and moving forward in the DCU. What does Economist remember about that day? Because I feel like complicated is almost a twofold. It's both a wink and a nod to the canon, and also it was just a natural, complicated day.
Oh, I didn't even think about the canon. On the day when we were shooting it, I was just trying to, this season, actually since the end of season 1, I am now friends with Peacemaker and the other gang, the 11th Street Kids. And I know that, Cena's character, Peacemaker, killed this guy's son. And I'm really trying my best not to let on, although at this point now I think he probably knows. And so I'm trying to say, it's not fully his fault. It's complicated. I also think Economist is just like bad at finding words, and he's a creature of habit. He likes tech. He's really torn having to like interact with people like that. So I never even thought in terms of canon. To me, it was just like, I'm trying to save my friend's ass by like cushioning the blow of, you're gonna read some horrible shit about what happened to your son.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Sol, your character of Sasha Bordeaux, I'm sure you know all about her comic history. When she was introduced in the comics, it was as the head of Bruce Wayne's personal security, and it didn't take her long to figure out that Bruce Wayne is Batman. Does your character, your interpretation here, have the same history going into Peacemaker Season 2?
Oh my god, so I never spoke about that with James, but I would like to think that she knows and that's part of her recent past. But I never really discussed it with James. I hope that, crossing fingers in the future, he writes something about that and I can bring that to life. With Batman, I would love that. It would be such a
That'd be
dream.
really
but yeah,
cool.
but it's I read all about it online and as much as I could, and I love that. So badass.
Yeah, Sasha's one of the only characters to like figure out that identity that quick too, which is really cool.
I didn't even know that until recently.
Well-
That's so cool.
Yeah. With Economos too, you mentioned the friendship that he has with Chris. It's evolved quite a bit from season 1, I think is fair to say. When they first interacted, they weren't on the best of terms, or he was kind of the brunt of a lot of
Oh my
jokes from
God,
Chris.
yeah.
But now, not only does Chris greet him with glee, we have that scene where you're sharing beers on the rooftop of Harcourt's apartment, but also when he's getting detained, and he's like, hey Chris, hey Economos, good to see you, and all that. Can you kind of talk to me about how the friendship has evolved in between seasons? Is there anything that happened between Economos and Chris to make them such kindred spirits?
I don't know, because I'm trying to piece the timeline. I know that our show starts 5 months after the events of Superman, but I'm trying to figure out when Superman starts in
Oh, in terms of,
relation to.
There's a lot of
Peacemaker.
threes involved with Superman's timeline.
Yeah.
3 decades, 3 years, 3 months. That
So
opening great
it's
scene.
probably years. I don't know, man. I think friendship is really complicated for Economist. I think in some respects he's a little on a spectrum of some sort, Eye contact, like you mentioned earlier,
Makes
to me,
him nervous.
makes him nervous, and so even with his friends, he's still a little standoffish. But these are still his friends, and like it means a lot to him, whether he shows it or not, because like what happened in the end of season 1 is like their Vietnam. This is like their band of brothers. This is like, we really went through something horrible and saved the world. And so,
And you broke your foot.
and I got a compound fracture in my leg. And
Legitimately?
No. There's a scene where
I knew it from the show, but the way you referenced it, I was like, did that actually?
Well, he broke a rib this season.
this season
Really?
Robert Patrick
Like,
broke
actually,
a rib. Yeah.
Him.
Was it a stunt?
Yeah, it kind of, but not really. It was just people playing around, basically.
Was it during the pig pile in the?
No, it was not during the. It was earlier in the season.
No.
But yeah, I forget the question.
This was one of the biggest reveals in this entire history of Peacemaker, even going back to season 1. Something that changes, though, about the universe where we meet Keith is that family dynamic is so strong. Yeah. What about the Smith family's childhood, adolescence changed in order for them to work as such a cohesive, loving family?
Well, first of all, his dad is not a, racist, evil piece of garbage that he is in the regular universe.
And he's always been like that.
Yeah.
It wasn't like his kids changed anything for him?
No, I don't think so. I think in this universe, there's just a different dynamic from the head down, I think an interesting thing would be like, what would have happened in the real world if Keith had lived and hadn't, died? Would he have been the protector that he is in this other dimension for his younger brother? Would he have been able to stand up to their dad, or would he become a product of their dad? Those are all, questions I think James is playing with in this, nurture versus nature kind of thing. I can't specifically say what they did that different. I can say that in this universe, they are thought of as heroes. It's completely opposite of what it's like for Peacemaker in his reality. So, they're celebrated. The kids love them. It's a whole different world. And I think there's so much trauma that happened to that kid, Peacemaker as a child, that like, the dynamic of this of like, well, what if this was your dynamic? Like, what would that Peacemaker have turned out to be, Mm-hmm. I mean, even in this world, he's got his own demons, there's issues that he's dealing with that Keith is trying to protect him from, And
I have to ask on that front, you said that they're heroes in this world. I have so much distrust when everything's so cookie cutter and perfect. I've watched too much of The Boys, you know what I mean? Like, is the top trio as advertised, or is there maybe a little bit of darkness under there?
You just have to wait and see, I mean, that's all I can say is that's how these people, you can see it in they're heroes to the kids and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Good to know. And I'd love to know further for you as an actor developing that dynamic with John Cena. Like, it's so authentically a brotherhood between these two. You guys sell it so well. It feels like you two as characters have been interacting for years when we first meet the two. Did you and John do anything off screen to help sell that dynamic?
No, not really. I mean, I met John the day we did that scene, the first one we did together. John is such a unique dude. He's so talented.
He's always learning something, right?
He is. I mean, like, it's intimidating how much this guy is grinding always. Like, clearly he doesn't, he's always wanting to learn something more. Like, between setups, he's off learning piano or Mandarin or reading philosophy or something. Like, it boggles my mind. But he's also very conversational when we are hanging out and doing a setup. We talked a lot about that Vince McMahon documentary had come out, and I was watching that and just being blown away by all this stuff, because my knowledge of wrestling kind of stopped when I was about 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. So there's all these years that I didn't know how the journey had gone, and I really didn't follow John until after, I worked with him, and then I've been watching him this year, which has been awesome. But no, John is just, he's such a gentleman, he's such a professional, and he was so willing to be vulnerable and in these moments that were so beautiful and so touching. Like, I was really blown away by him as an actor during these sequences.
And I want to go down what you just said about those kind of intimate moments and being vulnerable like that. What I love about the dynamic of the Smith family in this universe is there's no hesitation to say, I love you. And not just in pivotal moments where an I love you is warranted, in just kind of passing moments. Every conversation, hey, love you, buddy. Love you, buddy. And you can see on this version of Peacemaker, his reaction to that. You can answer this as either David or Keith, but I'd love for you to talk about the importance of saying I love you, not just like when it's needed, but on a reoccurring basis.
Look, I got 2 boys, 7 and 4. I tell them, you get me emotional. I tell them every day how much I love them and I allow them to see me be emotional, because I think it's important as men in this society that we show the range of human emotion, that it isn't like a masculine or a feminine thing to be able to be emotional. So my children, my father was very emotional. He gave me the gift of showing me that it's okay to be emotional, which, you know, if I don't have access to my emotions, I don't have the career that I have. And I impart that onto my kids, like that it's okay to be emotional and constantly share that love. And you know, in our home, we're very vocal about all of that stuff. That's me. That's David personally. I love that James is touching on that in society. I think it's something that's obviously needed more. Yeah. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you for being vulnerable with me.
Sorry, I don't mean to be, but yeah.
No, but what you said there really stuck out. If you don't have access to your emotions, you don't have the career you have, and I think that's super important. I'm a big voice texter, and so I'll always, like, if I think of my friend, I saw something on the street that reminded me of you, like, love you, and I say it to my guy friends too.
Yeah.
I won't say I love you, but like love you. It means something, right?
Yeah. I say that I love you, bro, to so many of my buddies. But, that's kind of unique in this society, which I think a big question of that nurture nature kind of thing is being played with here in this show.
Well, I think Peacemaker Season 2 will help push the needle in the right direction.
You must be John.
Uh-huh.
Jesus. You're not that dorky.
Shut up, Mom.